Or
the sun is beaming down on Pittsburgh's historic South Side. Welcome to Highmark Stadium and this presentation of USL Championship Soccer on ESPN Plus and CW30 in Memphis, Tennessee. And Gene Klein, well, the prospects for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club have been shining brightly here on the South Side lately. One of the only unbeaten teams in USL Championship, and the Hounds have climbed the standings largely based upon their ability to defend their home turf. Tonight against the expansion Memphis 901 FC, it'll be put to the test again, but as you can see right there, offense and defense both clicking for head coach Bob Lilly's squad in his second season in charge. Hounds now in 7th place, looking to rise to at least 6th by the end of the night if they can pick up at least a point here this evening. But last week, Paul Child, on the road at Hartford, Pittsburgh, despite sitting 4 of its regular starters, scored 4 goals in a 4-2 victory.
I'm sure Bob Lilly's so happy about that. You know, not playing 4 of the starters and still coming away with a 4-2 victory. It's got to be really good for him. Such a lot of depth on the sideline for him. If he has any problems, he's got a lot of choices he can pick and get in there and create some chances for the team. So it's looking good for the Hounds right now.
Steven Dos Santos, normal starter, he scored a goal, beneficiary of an own goal, but Anthony Velarde, the rookie midfielder, came off the bench and scored a goal and an assist. There you see Nico Brett tallying his team-high 6th to polish the thing off. On the other side of the coin tonight, Gene Klein, the visiting Memphis 901 FC, under the direction of Tim Mulqueen, first-year head coach in the pros. There you see Brandon Allen, 3 goals and an assist. He's got a couple for Memphis since coming over in a trade from Tampa Bay. Mulqueen says he's made a big difference to their attack.
Well, he is a difference maker, Matt. I mean, he can score goals from just about anywhere. He's good. He's a good hold-up player. He can bring guys into the game, and he's a veteran player with experience not just with Tampa Bay, but also with the Red Bulls. A great college player at Georgetown, so he can really help them a lot. And of course, they have some other quality guys. They have 10 guys with MLS experience on their side. 10 of those players have had some sort of national team experience. So they're a team that can start gelling at any point.
Memphis thinks it's turned a page. The Hounds 6-1-1 in their past 8. They've risen 6 spots in the East over that span. Memphis and Pittsburgh coming up after this.
Okay, go ahead and stand up for me. Good. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is just...
Now, if you get home and that's a little more tender.
Can I give you a hug? I can't believe it. I was in surgery this morning. Oh my gosh.
Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment at Allegheny Health Network.
The Riverhounds look to stay hot at home as they are back at Highmark Stadium next Saturday night.
What a goal!
It's Science at the Stadium night presented by the Carnegie Science Center on Saturday, August 10th, when the Swope Park Rangers make their way to Pittsburgh for a 7 p.m. showdown. Gates open at 5:30, dollar beers until kickoff. Find out more at riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Man, you're disrespecting me! Take him out!
You gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Don't pay no mind! We're under 18 and won't be doing any time. Hey! Come out and play!
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nebby on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
For the first time ever, it's Memphis 901 here in Pittsburgh to take on the Riverhounds Soccer Club at Highmark Stadium. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Here you see the ball being paraded out. We're ready to go, or just about ready to go. 90 minutes of USL Championship action. Here's 901's starting 11 for bench boss Tim Mulqueen. Jeff Caldwell gets his third consecutive start between the sticks. Players to watch, though, Brendan Allen, we talked about him. Also, Lagos Kunga. He has been a spark plug, a lone player from Atlanta United in the Major League Soccer. So 11 and 29, the two key attackers. And then for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, coached by Bob Lilly in his second season in charge here in the Steel City. They bump an extra player into the midfield for the second consecutive match. Instead of a 5-man back line, it's 4 in the back with Joe Greenspan starting on the bench. He had Naval Reserve duty this week. So we see Anthony Velarde, the rookie midfielder, get his second consecutive start there on the left flank in the midfield. Dos Santos and Brett at the top of the formation. Thomas Vankiazil, straight up defender. He's listed as a midfielder / defender, but this time he's playing a center back alongside the stout Toby Adewale. Hounds in the black and the gold, and Memphis in the white. Memphis with a record of 4-9-6, 15th place in the 18-team East, and the Hounds 8-3-8, rising to 7th, and with at least a tie tonight, they will pass Ottawa for 6th. Amazing how far they have climbed. There's your head man, the referee, Thomas Snyder, getting ready to allow things to begin. And here we go from Pittsburgh. First ever meeting, technically, between these two sides. They played a half in Memphis back in May. Then the rains came. Hounds were up 1-0, but the match was abandoned, so they'll make that one up in September as Robbie Mertz tries to poke it to Steven Dos Santos and does, and the Hounds get going in the attacking third.
And Kerr playing out wide there, Matt, right away, looking wide, and I'm sure you're going to see him getting down the line and getting some crosses in, looking for Mertz, Dos Santos, and Brett, which, you know, he's been connecting with a lot, so we'll see that, I'm sure.
Kevin Kerr sat out the entire match at Hartford. First time that happened this year. Getting a rest in the heat of the summer. Never a bad thing for the 30-year-old from Scotland. Now he plays this ball out into touch away from Nico Brett. Brett also started on the bench. The Hounds had 15 goals on the bench at the beginning of the match against Hartford and still scored 4 times. I know they were unhappy with how open the match got in the second half, but overall another big night for the attack, which has been a theme since they got hot in mid-June. Dos Santos taking this ball from Forbes. Steven Dos Santos going deep for Velarde, who tries to overcome the pressure of Ewan Grandison and cannot. The ball was too deep anyway, and Jeff Caldwell, the former University of Virginia man, will handle it.
Yeah, a lot of experience on this Memphis team, Matt, as we talked about. You know, you're going to look for Brandon Allen, who's playing right there. They're looking for him as they did directly right before that. He's going to try to find space between the two center backs, between Vankiazil and Adewale.
Speaking of space, yeah, here comes Kevin Kerr up ahead. Kerr, longest tenured Hound, to the captain Forbes. Square to Mertz. Also didn't play last week. James on the overlap. Ryan James has crossed his head. Oh, and Velarde had an open net staring at him, and he couldn't direct it home.
Oh, dear. That was an opportunity and a half there.
That was a great chance.
There was nobody around him. Just get that ball on target, and it's in the back of the net. And very good start there, and looking good.
Memphis, which has struggled in the first half this season, both in scoring and also in allowing goals. Nearly fell behind early again.
Great ball.
Just really propelled himself in there, and it seems like he couldn't reach it a little bit, Paul. But you know, terrific delivery from Ryan James, who we've seen him do that once or twice all season. Really, he's been terrific on that left flank.
Brett, 6 goals to lead the club. Stepping back, cutting, turning, looking, and feeding to Robbie Mertz. Mertz softly in. A little too tall for Dos Santos. There's Caldwell.
Yeah, the Hounds really putting some pressure on right at the beginning, Gino. I think it's been that way lately. We're getting into the game right at the beginning, trying to get on the board first, and it seems to have worked for the Hounds, and the momentum's been picking up because of that.
Oh, they're really coming out flying, Paul. I mean, you know, putting a lot of very positive, assertive pressure on Memphis, and we'll see how Memphis responds to that.
Oh,
Grandison, the Jamaican.
That ball was out of bounds. I thought it was.
Good call there. And there's the assistant, Tom Felice, with his flag in the air. Aaron Smith is on the other side. Aaron Schmelzer is the 4th official.
What do you think, man? I should have a flag up here and stick it out the window when I think it's offside.
We're getting to that point here, I believe. There you see Tim Mulqueen, the goalkeeping guru, if you will. He and Tim Howard, the former national team keeper, are quite close, and Tim Howard is a part owner of Memphis 901 in its first season in USL Championship, or first season anywhere for that matter.
Yeah, Tim's had brings a lot of experience to this franchise. I mean, spent a lot of time in MLS with various clubs as an assistant, and also has spent some time with our youth national team. So he has a lot of connections. And when you look at the roster, you see there's a lot of guys with MLS experience. He knows the player pools and the depth of some of these teams. There are also a lot of kids who had youth national team experience, I'm sure, when maybe Tim spent some time with them. So he's taken advantage of those contacts and tried to put together a roster. It's taken them a while to get together, as you would expect as an expansion team. But when you look at their experience and the quality they have, you would think that it's only a matter of time before they get on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, Dos Santos there down. I think he's feeling his face, like thinking there's blood coming out of his nose or something, because that player caught him, I think, and the Memphis player is saying that, you know, he ducked, and
he was reaching by his eye. Yeah. It looked like Dos Santos was. Dos Santos leveled by Leston Paul, the Trinidadian national, and here comes Tim Smith, the athletic trainer. I don't think there's any blood, but Dos Santos will have to at least step off the pitch for a moment. Dos Santos always involved in those aerial duels, so it's all part of the job for him.
Yeah, didn't look happy coming off. For sure.
I think it's his cheek, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think caught him.
That's what he's holding, Paul.
Like,
he's holding it.
That's probably an ice towel or something. And
yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Good movement from Robbie Mertz to get out of a little bit of a tight spot, and you know, and he's up against
this was a great chance for James too.
Ball coming through, and there is Ryan James running onto the available ball. That post cross is a great one, on the money for Kerr, but he just couldn't get on top of that ball. Twice James has swung him in right at the 6.
Yeah, he was a little bit. His timing was a little bit off there, Gino and Matt. I thought he started getting up there too soon and was on his way down when he got contact with the ball. So,
Paul, what's impressed me is that every time we've got it in that back third and we're whipping some balls in there, we've had like 3 guys into the box right away. They're getting numbers into the box right away.
Yeah.
They're really putting the pressure on Memphis.
You're going to see it again here.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, and then
he just kind of.
Yep.
He was on his way down as he caught it, and obviously sent the ball over the crossbar. But you're right, Gino. It's like whip those balls in, get 3 guys in there, and somebody get on it. And,
yeah, I mean they are making an effort and a commitment to get into the area.
Here's Kunga though, first chance for Memphis, bumped off the ball by Canardo Forbes, his opposite number.
Great job by Canardo Forbes there, getting his foot around that ball and getting it off him.
A strong challenge to come in physically and just give enough of a bump to Kunga, the 20-year-old from Angola, lone player from Atlanta. I mentioned just 1 goal, but if you watch the Memphis 901 highlights, he's all over him.
Yeah, and you know, he's from Angola, but I believe he grew up in Atlanta, in that area. I mean, he also spent some time with some of our youth national teams. So I'm really curious to see how he and Allen are going to hook up because he has some pace. He's creative. Where Tim Allen's the big target guy who can who Pingle can play off of him. So they could be a very good combination for Memphis.
Long ball too deep there, and it'll be a foul against Pittsburgh, giving Memphis a restart just inside the midfield stripe. There's Bob Lilly, the Hounds manager. His teams have only lost 4 times here at Highmark in his tenure, and all those were last year. His team 5-0-5 in league play at Highmark and 7-0-5 counting U.S. Open Cup.
Free kick here. I didn't know that was on the ball there. I missed that one.
This is Martin Burge, the 35-year-old, 13 MLS seasons. Burge, the captain of Memphis, the Ohioan.
Yeah, and I believe Burge spent a lot of time with DC United.
Good
Several
job.
clear squads, in fact. Adewale got the clear off the back of his head. Brandison running on, grounding one into the box. And corner kick for Memphis, first of this match for either side.
Again, a guy like Birch, you have that experience defending the back and keep them organized and sort out any problems, any issues that they might have. And so Memphis, again, I know that Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds are very aware of some of the quality and experienced guys that they have. And I think, Paul, that's the reason they're flying at the start.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think you're going to look for Allen right here. He's hanging out at the very far post. And
making the cut in.
Took a
short side ball. Interesting. And this is a throw because it went out over the sideline. So a clear from Mertz. That prevents the second consecutive corner as he was able to guide it into the bleachers.
Yeah, Paul, they were looking for Brandon Allen trying to make a run to that front post.
Yeah, and
this is Cam Lindley, another lone player from the MLS side. He of Orlando City. Lindley tosses it in. Dos Santos won it to his keeper, Morton, who's unbeaten in 10 starts now, and he rolls it out to Forbes on the move. Pardon me, Dover, I should say.
Cam Lindley, another one of those kids who's spent time in our national team programs.
Good job there by Kerr.
He's looking shifty to start and fresh. And he wins a corner kick.
He is looking really sharp, Matt. I think you're right. Taking that game off the last game, knowing Kevin, it's like, I got to get in there and show them I should be playing all the time.
Yeah.
And he's got that great attitude, which, and I'm sure Bob knows that. So stick him in there and let him start buzzing, which he's trying to do, and he's doing a good job.
Well, he's had a great season too, hasn't he? He's had that energy and that he's always had that drive and that spirit and that mentality. So
no one works harder. Forbes handling the corner from the river side of the pitch. It's a back post play, and the ball went out of bounds.
I think it went over the end line on the.
It was a good-looking ball
on the
too.
Corner. It was. Yeah, I wondered why Velarde was waiting for him to volley that and brought it down, but I think it was because the whistle blew right before that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought, why didn't he hit that on the fly, and then realized that the ball had gone out of bounds. But they looking good, really. They're packing the 6-yard box, and we still got 3 players on the edge of the box waiting for anything that's knocked down as well, Gino. So I think we can hopefully get a few more corner kicks, and we'll be really dangerous.
You can tell, and we've seen enough Bob Lilly teams over the years that they're always going to be better at the end of the year. And some of the stuff that they've been working on throughout the year, you can really sense that it's
coming together.
Come together, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Lindley tried to slot that one through for Memphis, but Bunky Azil, the second-year Hound, got in the way. And familiar sight, James, with pasture ahead. Slides it off, Velarde.
He was in good shape.
Running to, Velarde tried to cross and scooped it a little, got under it.
I wish Velarde had been a little bit more calm. You got to look at the situation there. He had a lot of room around him. He just looked up and he thought, I'm going to hit this one. I think he would have been better off taking a little touch, looking at letting players get up there.
He had a little space in front of him, didn't he?
He had like 10 yards.
Yeah, he could have drawn a defender out.
Suck somebody out. Yeah, you're right, Gino.
And fly it in, But again, we are making a commitment to get in there and pushing guys forward. So the Riverhounds are, and I think they sense too with a team like Memphis, who even though they have experience and quality, I mean they've struggled.
All at home though. This is their first road match in a month. And again, the Hounds work the left flank. James nearly stumbled.
Oh,
got it.
beautiful nutmeg.
Mega Man. James
Oh,
couldn't get the cross through. It was blocked down. And a fine job done by Jacob Hauser-Ramsey to save the day.
James got so excited about nutmegging the first guy. I think he was
one at this point. Married a Pittsburgh girl as well. So yeah, this is his second home. Adewale chipping it. And James with a lot of possession early.
Good job he checked up there because he was going to knock the ball back too soon, and the number 6 was closing him down and really stole that ball and really caught that.
Paul, our movement is really good right now. I mean, you know, Velarde, Crew, and Kevin Kirk coming into those pockets between the midfield and the back line. Canardo Forbes and Robbie Mertz finding all kinds of space, and right now Memphis is struggling to deal with it.
Dino, you haven't been at the games for a while, and I'm sure because you've been away. But I mean, you can see the difference. Like we watch it every week, but you can see the confidence in the team too.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's
compared to early, yes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what I said. They're all on the same page. Just really, but except on that play, you know.
He just got hammered there.
Yeah, he got hammered. He got pushed down right in front of that pass.
Well, Leston Paul is playing a physical match to start for Memphis, and this one a hopeful ball from Adam Najim. Right into Morton. Morton, the 25-year-old from Pennsylvania. He started now 4 in a row and 8 of his last 9. He's taken over the net for Pittsburgh with Ben Lundgaard back in Columbus. He was on loan to the Hounds, but with the Crew looking for more goalkeeper depth, it's been Morton with a small helping of Austin Pack, first-year Hound.
Yeah, of course, you know.
Ball bounced out. James will throw in.
You go shoot there.
Chested down by Brett. Brett to an open man on the open wing. Looking for Kerr was Canardo Forbes. A little hard.
A little bit wishful thinking there, thinking the Kerr was going to get to that one, but
Dos Santos helps create almost a steal. Dos Santos and Brett have put in quite a bit of work to help win the ball back this year. That's where you don't always see that from forwards, so it stands out to me.
I think Nico Brett's improved in that respect compared to last year, because I used to get angry that he would just like casually jog back, but now he's chasing players and making it difficult and making them make bad passes out of the back.
I'm sure if he made you angry, I can't even imagine how Bob Lilly was feeling.
Well, the work rate has kicked up, and I think some of that comes with confidence. Last year had a big season, so I feel like he can push more, and I'm sure the encouragement does come from Lilly as well.
Yeah.
There's more to give. It feels like that about everybody and every match that they play. It seems like Dover latching on the wing. Forbes and Mertz.
Just keeping possession too.
James thought about the cross, thought better of it.
Well, they're doing so well so far that I haven't seen Bob out of the dugout yet. So
it's a good sign.
That is a real good sign, yeah.
Some weeks it's minute 2. This week we're into the 17th. And he has to be pleased with what he sees. The Hounds bottling in Memphis, forcing them to chase right now.
And they're really forced to sit back deep. I mean, only Brandon Allen is staying up pretty high, and you know they're Conga has
good job
to drop.
Forbes pressing up. Forbes will he have a go? Leaves it. Brett back to Forbes. Slotted it through at the flex to James, and he couldn't guide it on target. My goodness, what a broken play, but it almost led to a goal.
I thought Canardo Forbes was going to pull the trigger there earlier.
Yeah, with his left foot.
And one with his right too. He had two. Yeah.
You know what though? We had players lining up. It was like a bunch of bees around a hive there and waiting to hit one.
They're dressed in their Bumblebee kits tonight, so very appropriate. Right, the deflected shot, or maybe it was even a pass in by Forbes. I'm not really sure what he was going for, but it deflected right to James.
Yeah.
And Velarde was there. Brett was in the vicinity, too. Ball just didn't bounce the Hounds' way. Pittsburgh has been better lately at scoring in the first half. For a while, that was a trouble spot. 3 last week we talked about at Hartford, but they've built some early leads lately. That's been a big deal for this team, and its turnaround. Points in 7 of its last 8. That's the first time Pittsburgh has done that since the end of the 2015 season. Hard to reel off a run like that.
That was a nice ball there. Wide.
Birch to deliver that one.
Kunga, look at that step.
And
Robbie Mertz.
Robbie Mertz, terrific tackle. What a read from him, just to come back from his center midfield position, to put some cover there behind Ryan James. You talk about a work rate. I mean, which with him and Bernardo Forbes in the park, you have 2 guys with magnificent motors who can cover a lot of territory.
And really taking some of the work from Kerr, haven't they?
Yes.
You know, I mean, really let him more free range.
Kunga slips past James. The dangerous one, Lagos Kunga, 1v1 without Awale, and he couldn't make anything of it before it trundled over the byline. Goal kick, Hounds. But Kunga 2 times in a row on the pushback for Memphis.
Well, that was much better from Memphis there, that last couple minutes. They switched the point of attack really well several times. And of course, with Kunga, he was able to actually get by Ryan James, which you don't see that often. Almost an attack. It faltered there at the end, but that was a little bit better as far as their position, as far as their spacing, and we'll see if they can maintain that. Forced the Riverhounds on their heels for probably the first time in this match.
Yeah, really.
Missed goal kick from Morton. Select is the official soccer ball supplier of the USL Championship, many of the finest leagues in the world. There you see the Select Airborne right in front of us. Since 1947, Select has been a leader in soccer ball quality. Dos Santos, was he fouled? Advantage given. Brett wanted to square it to Kerr, and it was intercepted.
And he's not going to give the free kick now.
No, I mean, he can go back and give a warning to that player, but I think it was the right call. You know, we had a very good attack going, and you don't want to take that away.
Oh, no, definitely with a breakaway, for sure. I agree. I just thought he might even call it back afterwards. But,
well, what is it, the couple-second rule? You know, you got to wait.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
That might be the toughest decision a referee has to make there.
Well, it's always, you think about it when you talk about officiating, and you always say, most referees have to, is it a foul or not a foul? We have to call whether it's a foul, not a foul, or whether you can play on, whether there is an advantage. And, it's not an easy call.
No.
Just finishing my thought, for the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com, and you see the Select on the pitch once again for another season of USL Championship Soccer. Rolling on the artificial surface. Dover telegraphed that one in behind Kerr anyway.
Yeah, I think you're better off trying to slip that in behind.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him still go straight down to the line and cut back.
Yeah.
Jordan Dover, the wing back, and Dover, when he's been available, he's been a stalwart. He was away for a few weeks due to Gold Cup duty, playing for Guyana, which made its Gold Cup debut this year, back in June. Dover got to play against the U.S. men's national team, in fact. Paul Arriola passed him on one opportunity, but he does that to a lot of wing backs, a lot of outside backs. Dover, for the most part, held his own, now making his 13th start this season. And he'll throw this one in.
What's going on with this referee and the defender there? I missed that. Is he just giving him a lecture for some reason?
It's Leston Hall, holding midfielder.
Yeah, speaking of national team guys against the U.S., I think Leston Paul is Trinidadian, and he was on the field for that fateful October Day a few years ago that we all have tried to put on memory banks. Where Trinidad, of course, knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup.
Did that happen? If only. Velarde.
Just hope we don't see it again.
Yes, that's right. Make it a one-time mistake. Bunky Azil, the freshman, to Dover. And Bunky Azil Might as well put a D in front of his name this year. Bonke has been a defender in more matches than not. Memphis pressing here.
Yeah, they're putting some pressure on. Now they've just now they've got to get back because we got
that's the problem.
Some yellow shirts going forward here. That's a great
turn around in a hurry. James seeking out Dos Santos. He was covered by 2 men in white. And Wale stepping 2, but clumsy touch. And Allen, it's his first extended possession of this match.
Yeah, coming all the way back there to do something there.
Bonke gave Metzger, pardon, the stiff arm or the forearm shiver, and Metzger took a fall and didn't get the call.
Yeah, this referee, we don't know what he's going to call sometimes. I think it's
more space here. The Hounds have found some spots on the counter. James.
Oh, good ball in again.
Dos Santos looking for his second straight header goal. Or second in as many matches, I should say, but not to be there.
Well, we've seen the mobility and the movement that we've talked about with the Riverhounds. I mean, Velarde and Kevin Kerr both are playing a lot more narrow, coming in the center to hook up with Mertz and with Canardo Forbes, and leaving those flanks wide open for Dover and for Ryan James.
Yes.
And they're delivering some balls in there. And again, they're getting some numbers into the box. But just real close, just slightly missing on delivery or missed time header, but they're dangerous balls.
Yeah. Well, you got to do that anyway, don't you, Gino? You can never tell. He hits a defender and goes in. So even if it's not to your guy, you got to ping those balls in. And eventually, we're going to get somebody on the end of one.
Memphis settles in here. Loose ball knocked away. Hounds converge on it. Thomas Bonke, Dos Santos. Trying to connect with Kerr, not to be there. And Adewale resets. Kyle Morton going back. Presses on again for Memphis. Trying to take advantage of the narrow pitch here. Narrower than what they're used to playing on back at home. Velarde. James was free for a moment.
Here's again Velarde coming to the center. James flying up the left flank.
Now they're looking for him.
Forbes to James. Velarde, edge of the 18. At a half look. Mertz will let one go, and on one bounce, Caldwell makes his first save of the match.
Yeah, didn't quite catch that the way he wanted to, I don't think. He seemed to get over the top of the ball a little bit too much. Didn't get the power in it.
Bobby Mertz, the first bona fide Pittsburgher to be a regular player in the Highmark Stadium era. For the Hounds, my goodness, Caldwell, lazy touch. Nico Brett can't get there, but it's go further. Brett missed it right across the face of a goal. Goodness.
Wow.
I don't know what I thought he was trying to hit the goalkeeper there, because if the keeper had tried to save that like he was trying, it would have gone in the back of the net. I'm guessing he was thinking that way, but yeah, he had 2 chances, 3 chances there. The ball kept popping out.
Extremely difficult angle by the time the ball did slide to Brett, and he was free to let it go.
Right. I mean, Caldwell did the only thing he could do was really push Brett as wide as he could. Give him some time to get back to the goal.
Hounds showing off their trademark aggression here at home.
Look at that pressing from James and Mertz there.
Good job.
Forbes.
I want to see Kerr let one go here.
Pittsburgh staying on the front foot. Velarde! And just parried wide, I think, by Caldwell. Corner kick.
Yeah, I think Caldwell got a hand on a terrific save, actually, because he was in a tough spot where he couldn't come for the cross, and he had to backpedal a little bit to give himself some time, and he got a hand on it.
I think Velarde, if he'd knew DeSantos was behind him, Gino, and let that go, he would have caught the keeper going the wrong way.
Here's the mix-up, I believe. That's a save by Caldwell off of Velarde.
Dos Santos was in behind.
Oh, that's a one!
Yes.
Toby Adewale makes it 1-0. Don't stop him now. His second goal of the year has Pittsburgh in front against Memphis on the set piece from Forbes.
No messing there, Gino. He just came flying in, and the ball was perfect for him. All you do is redirect it, and the keeper was lost.
Yeah, he got on that really well, though, Paul. His timing was good. He got up and flicked it in the back post, and and again, another really good serve into the area.
Yeah, I mean, here he comes.
So many crosses, it might have been a matter of time, and it's the center back, Adewale, cashing in.
Yeah, boy, just really redirecting that into the right-hand corner of the net.
Yeah, beat Grandison. I mean,
keep it like.
But I think a goal was coming, wasn't it? I mean, there's tremendous pressure, and they're getting a lot of good stuff into the area, and it just.
Yeah, it was time. He's just been waiting and waiting to break the ice there, and finally they got on the board. But great to see. Just complete pressure all the time. Every time they're going forward, especially when they were going wide. Making Memphis really running and panicking all over the place, Gino, and letting players get free, and somebody got on the end of it that time.
Yeah, and you know, Grandison from Memphis was tracking Adewale, but he really wasn't in a position to go up for that header, and of course the serve was right on the money, wasn't it?
Adewale with a height advantage as well. Toby at 6'3".
Another good switch there by Memphis again.
Working this right side. They want to get it to Kunga and maybe cross it to Allen on the backside. Grandison stumbling in, stripped by Mertz.
Yeah, Mertz, he knew he wasn't going to quit there at all, you know, and just kept battling away, and it came out with the ball. Oh, great
Santos
job.
does well to flag that down.
What's a ball?
Sending Velarde through. Velarde into the box. Overwhelmed. It's under a man, and it just trickles into Caldwell.
Well, again, terrific attack. You know, out of the back half of the field. Dos Santos does very well to bring that down and slips it in behind the backs to Velarde. He just really couldn't get enough on that, could he?
No, his touches weren't that good, you know what I mean? If you watch, it kind of gets tangled up under his feet, and he touches it that one
little an extra little touch. Yeah.
I thought that's one of those you give a toe poke if you think you're going to mess up, you know, and just hit it on target, but I'm not playing.
Not that much is clear, but we appreciate the insight nonetheless. It's just little moments there that can lead to big dividends if you pull them off.
You're a forward. You don't care which way it goes in. You know?
That's right. And I mean, I don't think Velarde's not a natural left-footed player either, so a little bit tough for him to really take that little preparation touch and get it off.
Well, Memphis keeps pressing, so there aren't a lot of comfortable moments for either side right now. Even when the Hounds are coming out of the back, they've had to be crisp. But when they do get it through, they've had opportunities.
Well, they've done a very good job of breaking the midfield line, and then once they do that, I mean, they're in good spots.
Oh, that's a fearless challenge from James, and Grandison is down and not moving much.
Yeah, I thought they both challenged each other pretty fairly.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And he's a bigger guy than James.
There were no. It didn't look like there were any arms extended. They both went up shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And he is a little stronger than James. I think it was when I hit the ground more than anything else.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right there.
Grandison jackknife down. The athletic trainer Angie Ziolkowski.
I know when you
check on the Jamaican.
You're going to see it again right now. Yeah, he came down. Well, both came down pretty hard.
Yeah.
But you know, as a player, when you do those kind of things, I know the first thing you want to do is jump right back up and say, I'm okay, you know, and like let the other player know, hey, you come again, I'm going to hit you again. And it wasn't a foul of any kind. It was just a good challenge.
James did well to prevent his head from hitting the turf as he fell back too. So, yeah, both guys took a good amount of punishment on that, and it won't be the last time they'll come together this evening on this near sideline.
No, because they both saw, I mean, as Paul mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Memphis have been working this right side here, and so they're looking for Grandison. And you know, if I'm Memphis, I mean, James is going to attack, so take advantage of that space behind him when he does attack.
James gets up again. Velarde just ducked, and Grandison took control, so he's not shying away. Speaking of not shying away, Vanki Azil takes command.
Oh, that's a good ball.
Brett can't beat his mark, and Birch slid in to take care of it. But then one of the Memphis defenders, Hauser Ramsey, came up a little bit lame. I don't know. Actually, it's just his boot that came off.
Nico Brett is asking the referee there about the obstruction from that player, which is a good question to ask him, because there was two players, and that player just definitely put his body in front of him, and that's why he caught him on the heel.
I was just about to say, I totally agree with him. He cleverly ran in front of him there to knock him off stride just a little bit. It's a smart move as far as a defender, but yeah, you're right. It could have been an obstruction.
Wale, who just scored the goal off the header, wins that head ball, but the Hounds can't make anything of it. Grandison delaying and finding Sharpie out of the midfield. Pardon me, Lindley, rather, to Paul.
Oh, good job by the Hounds there, making them go all the way back and passing that.
And look at Nico Brett leading the line there, forcing only that long ball there. I mean, he really had much notice. And again, Canardo calmly plays it down to Dover. And
he's onside.
Look at this, running wide open. Dos Santos, ball checked up. Dos Santos hits it, and it's deflected. He got a lot of it.
That was a smart decision by Dos Santos there, because the ball didn't quite bounce right for him, so he could have taken it on and gone one-on-one with the keeper. So that was the time to catch that volley and catch the keeper maybe coming out too, because he thought he was going to come and dribble the ball towards him.
We got, Matt, is that the fourth corner or third?
I have it as 3 for the Hounds.
Okay.
1 from each side, and now they'll try the River side of the pitch again. Forbes, who set up 1 goal from the corner, will try this time. Bounces through untouched. And
clearance.
then a messy clear from Allen gives the Hounds the possession right back.
Oh, good ball.
Mertz to
ball
James.
Mertz.
Let's put some spin on that to guide it safely through. The Hounds will recycle, and Dover at the back end.
Smart play from Mertz for his age, and you know, not thinking, oh, I got to take a shot and rush in. Being smart, looked around and made something of it.
Just so calm in those tight areas, you know, and you know, it doesn't panic with it.
Kerr, another signature ball to the back post this time, and Brett does all he can to just keep it alive, and does well to do so. Mertz, just 22, rookie year, drafted by the Colorado Rapids of MLS, didn't stick with the Rapids. Might be ruining that decision now. Quick in to Bonkiazil, stopped by Caldwell, and he did well on the reaction.
Oh, he did well, but I'll tell you what, a lot of holes in this Memphis line right now, and the Riverhounds are exposing it.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like last week at Hartford, in fact, where Pittsburgh had its choice sometimes where it wanted to attack.
And you know, that's the time for a team. That's when you got to keep pounding, jumping on them, you know, and waiting, creating these opportunities, and maybe steal another goal.
Yeah, they really, I'm sure they really want to get that second one, Paul.
Yeah.
Man down for Hartford, pardon me, Memphis.
It's time for DoubleTree by Hilton Lucky Row Cookie Giveaways. At DoubleTree by Hilton Pittsburgh Green Tree, every little thing we do adds up to create a rewarding experience for our guests. Like starting every stay with a one.
Anyway,
that's a little bit of a stretch, buddy.
Well, we have a delay.
I know you would have been calling for it, but it's like
I would have been in the referee's face.
Folks, you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Hounds or Memphis 901, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the next match for your favorite squad or squads. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Cam Lindley, the 22-year-old from the state of Indiana, played 2 years at University of North Carolina. He's walking off slowly. He was getting his hamstring or calf stretched. It's a hot night, 86 degrees at game time, not as humid. I thought we might see a hydration break, but it's not built into the match tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they just kind of had one there.
Yeah, they basically have had a couple, in fact, with these injury stoppages.
Bob getting on his players again to get this ball forward, push. And
well, I bet he's sensing the same thing that you had just mentioned. That, you know, you want to get that second one because you know, they go into the dressing room at the break and make a couple adjustments, changes, whatever. And then nick one home, and then you have a different game.
Yeah.
So, but you go in with a little bit of a cushion. Now they really have to push the game.
Memphis has played now 4 straight matches against playoff contending opponents. Kunga, the beneficiary of a turnover.
And well done from Jordan Dover to get back there. James got beat here on the other side, but Dover covering for him.
Well done, cool.
Against the gem over there, who really has been very, very quiet on the left side. He's a sort of a local kid. He's played at Akron, so it's the University of Akron, which is not far. And very, very good player on some of their top teams.
Last 2 years with Bethlehem Steel, in fact. That's where Hounds fans might recognize his name, Adam Najim. Born in New Jersey, but he plays internationally for Afghanistan. You don't hear that every day.
Don't see that.
Imagine he's one of their top players. Slid through. Allen is offside. The flag is up, even though Allen finishes afterward. The Steel Army's not going to enjoy that.
It's the first time there Memphis made some moves that looked like it could come away.
Yeah.
Because Allen was trying to get a step on the defense and just got caught one yard.
Definitely trying to play off the shoulder of Wale and Vonke's isn't he? And they're really looking to slip him in a little bit. Yeah, I mean that was. You know, he's going to try to play up high. You see Kunga and the Gem a little bit underneath him with Metzger and with Lindland.
Hurts heavy touch, otherwise he would have been home free maybe at the arc. He went right through the body of Weston Pike. Slid in for Brett, and he just didn't get the proper touch. James, the trigger man once more.
Yeah, Nico there, just the right kind of touch, and that ball's in, you know, and didn't quite get what he needed. And you try your best. You never know if you're going to catch it and beat the keeper, but
but good job from the veteran Mark Birch there, tracking him all the way across, and he really couldn't get a clean, shot on.
Lorde pulls it down. Tim Mulqueen, you saw him looking exasperated on camera just a moment ago. Way too much action in his penalty area for his liking, and I'm sure for his players too. They realize they're reeling, and they're probably just trying to get it to the half.
Well, here's the last serve from Ryan James, and we see him trying to get in, and you can see Birch trying to give Nico a bit of a bump. And
he did the same Nico Brett did. On his head too.
It's one of those where both sides are upset.
I think Timmy Mulqueen had a full head of hair before this match started. I mean, he's getting exasperated because he
feels it, doesn't he?
I mean, he knows that the Riverhounds have been dangerous on those balls, and they're going to have to clean that up at halftime. You can see that Birch recognizing it, not everybody else has been recognizing it in the back.
Brett, the former Robert Morris University star, just outside of town here. Brett pulls it to the outside. Corner kick, Hounds, they're fourth.
I should have took that shot with the first fake and take a shot on goal, but got a corner out of it, which is really good. Here's the opportunity with, getting into the 40th minute, and as I said, we talked about earlier, I'd like to see the Hounds get another goal to go in the locker room. I'm sure Bob wants that to happen too.
Maybe the set pieces are starting to come alive. The Hounds got one directly from Forbes a couple of weeks ago against Bethlehem Steel, and of course the first goal tonight on the Forbes corner.
We got the same matchup with Adewale, who again
post in. Paul kept it out. He was the low man there, though.
I was watching Adewale and Grandison again. Adewale got a step on him to the front post, but then they served it to the back, and a dangerous ball. So the Riverhounds have, as you said, Matt, very dangerous on these corners and set pieces.
It's an area they wanted to get better at after the first half.
Robbie Mertz and the Lardy yesterday. Better with that than Lardy.
Lardy rewarded for his performance last week, getting his second straight start. It's been a while. It's been since the first month of the season that he had back-to-back starts. The rookie out of Fresno Pacific Division II. He has a lot of offensive talent.
Look what we got right now, though. We have Canardo Forbes playing left back. Ryan James is way over on the right midfield right now until they sort this out after that corner.
Players just reading and reacting, figuring out where the gaps are, filling the gaps.
Canardo Forbes told me to stay over there for the time being.
Yeah,
I got this.
That's a long way to come. Just stay there and pick up that guy.
Yeah, because and interesting, the Gem has come over to the right side. He's been on the left side the entire game.
Metzger to the corner, confronted there by a couple of Hounds. I believe that's a throw-in for Memphis. Yes, late call from referee Thomas Snyder, but it appeared to be the accurate one. Now they're trying to pull the throw back out. And apparently Memphis will succeed in doing so. They were pretty close to the flag. The toss into Kunga's boot. Ian James, cross swords. Najim's cross, headed clear.
Toby there was a little bit surprised by that one, I think.
Grandison to throw back in. Getting late in the first half. Time of the match that Memphis has usually struggled this season, but they push right now to try to get the equalizer. Allen unable to make anything happen. Visitors keep control. Paul given away by Lindley. And Mertz was dragged to the pitch.
Quick one to the right.
Forbes was looking that way.
Yeah, he was on. It's still on, actually.
They still haven't picked up Jordan Dover over there.
Yeah, finally.
Pittsburgh with a 1-0 lead. Toby Adewale, the center back, gets his second goal of the year. Corner kick header. Clinical. Well done.
Again, Mertz getting out of trouble, Gino, which he's been doing.
Yeah.
James to Brett. Really stepped on the ball for a moment, but regained his bearings.
Yeah, I mean, Mertz and Forbes have been dynamic in that midfield, controlling things right now. And then you have the movement of Velarde and Kerr. We see Kerr now way over on the left side from the right side.
Velarde called for that foul, appeared rightfully. Austin Paul, tough customer, the defensive midfield for Memphis.
Bob Lilly getting on Nico Brett, telling him to get up front. He shouldn't be in the midfield picking up those balls. That's somebody.
Yeah, look, I mean, look how far back Hauser Ramsey is. You know, and I want to see.
Oh, have a chance to hit it! Oh goodness! A volley and a miss. Overhooked it.
There's a good opportunity there for Memphis. Everybody kind of backed off and given room, and it bounced right.
Then why hate those 1-0 leads? I mean, you know, one little chance like that.
Get back in it.
Tune into ESPN News August 7th, this upcoming Wednesday, 11 p.m. Wednesday Night Soccer. Two sides fighting to stay above the playoff line. Sacramento Republic hosts Las Vegas FC, 11 p.m. Eastern time. And available ball, one of those things.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of the few times that Memphis has been able to get behind our midfield line and in front of the back line before they could step up. And you know, Paul took it off his chest very, very well. Just missed a little bit on the shot. But if he connects with it, that's trouble.
Very nearly Jamaican to Jamaican on the counter for the Hounds, but Brett just missed pulling that ball down, that driven ball from Forbes up the right flank. Adewale getting close to stoppage time. Allen runs through him. Play continues. Tommy V, Vunky Azil, last name. Mertz.
Good stuff.
Slicing and finds Velarde. Forbes. Space ahead of him. Velarde, Forbes. Was holding. Kerr, edge of the 18. Ooh. Oh my. Look close to possibly a handball inside the box on Birch, but not to be. And Velarde called once again for a foul, trying to prevent the counter.
It will be a minimum of 2 minutes.
Paul is asking for more than a verbal warning, I think. He's saying that's a few times now.
Well, it is, and that was a bit of a tactical foul, because you just said they did have an attack going, and for the Riverhounds standpoint, not a bad foul, but it did take something away from Memphis.
2 minutes will be added on. Well, the guys in white, they played a lot on their own end. Maybe 1-0. It's about as good as they could hope for at this point. They'll try to push on here, catch the Hounds at a moment of lost focus, perhaps. So Pittsburgh's got to keep turned on.
Velarde's got to pick up somebody. He's getting tired, I think, Gino. I'm watching him, and look, he's let his number 6 just jog away from him. And maybe just coming from a non-experience, you know.
Mertz, he seems to have limitless energy. Gets to the edge of the 18, but it's slotted right back into Kunga. Can't keep it on his boot. Vunky Azil tries to turn around and cleared it up, but not out. Lindley, Najim. Najim wanted to go back to Lindley, but it's broken up. Hounds swarm around the ball, squirts loose, and Morton stops it before the byline.
Well, again, a little bit of a spark there from Memphis, you know, trying to make, but the Riverhounds held really together there and really tight.
Maybe a half minute to go in this half. Missed on that pass to James, but Dos Santos picks it up, cuts back, and shoots off the crossbar. would have been a highlight of the year.
Robbie
Mertz has
Mertz.
a chance. Deflected.
Yes!
In
It's in there.
for the goal. The Hounds get a bounce after
Whoa.
they didn't get a bounce.
Boy.
2-0.
Yeah.
What a rocket by DeSantos.
Santos ripped that by Robbie Mertz again. And what an strict opportunist, man.
Oh, yeah.
No hesitation, took it right there.
And took
ripped
it
it and
got a deflection, but that's what you get, you know, and the keeper stuck.
Well, the
And,
shot was on frame. I don't think he's going to get credit for that goal with the big deflection, but,
Yeah, but-
that's a good bingo for Robbie Mertz and the Hounds. They do get the second one on a brisk counterattack.
Yeah. Bobby's saying, come on, keep it up.
great rip from DeSantos. Cole did nothing with that. Comes back. Mertz again going to take it.
Oh, it did really good.
Off Grandison and in.
Yeah.
Well,
There
did,
it goes, yeah.
did it even get a piece of Kerr? I'm not sure. I think it was just off Grandison, and then
Yeah,
Caldwell didn't have
Oh,
a
was it?
prayer.
I don't know. It looked like he kind of like put his hands up in the air really quickly. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Maybe. On the restart, Memphis pushing, by the way. This half is not over yet.
No.
Sharpie too deep with the cross.
And that's the end
Allen
of the half.
frustrated. That's the end of the half. What a turn of events. Memphis had Pittsburgh a little bit scrambly for a moment, and then
Halftime score.
back the other way. It's a shame Dos Santos doesn't get the goal
2.
there, but
Yeah.
he set the thing up with the slalom move.
Well,
Double
yeah,
cutback.
terrific counterattack by the Riverhounds, and they were able to really just slice through the Memphis defense. And Mertz again
There are
being
always
very
more chances to
opportunistic,
win
take
with the
advantage of that
Pennsylvania
rebound
Lottery.
off the crossbar.
Text penalty.
Definitely.
66835.
Great to see. I mean, it's exciting to watch, and you never know what's going to pop up.
Well, boy, we'll catch our breath after that, bring it back to recap things and take a trip around the league. 2-0 Pittsburgh over Memphis at the half from Highmark.
At Moe's, we've always been real Southwest. And we're proud of it. It's in our name after all. And we've always been real people, using real Southwest flavors, making real Southwest eats. And we've always built everything right on the line, fresh, just for you. Real, fresh Southwest. Welcome to Moe's. Try Moe's new Moho chicken, made with all-natural chicken breast and a refreshing citrus sauce.
All right, that's enough, you two. Don't paint your brother. No, you can't eat the clay. What can I say? Moms just know. I'm Christine Sorensen, and as a mom, I know parents know a lot. But for the few things we don't know, there's Kidsburg, your go-to resource for all the great things in our area for kids and families. Everything from kid-friendly events, creative learning, and help for parents. It's every Wednesday on KDKA TV, emailed to your inbox and online at kidsburg.org.
Okay, we hear you. Due to popular demand, #1 Cochran Nissan's 3-store supergroup just added store number 4.
Introducing #1 Cochran Nissan Cranberry and grand opening offers at all 4 stores. Lease the all-new Altima from just $209 a month or 0 APR for 3 years plus $2,000 customer cash and $1,000 extra for trades at #1 Cochran Nissan now.
Gotta keep them separated. Hey! The man you're disrespecting me. Take him out. Gotta keep them separated. Hey! Pay no mind. We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime. Hey! Come out and play.
Pittsburgh leads 2-0 at the half. Hounds with 14 shots to Memphis's 1 through the first 45 minutes and change. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. We'll get to more about this match shortly, but right now let's take a trip around the USL Championship. An active Friday in the USL Eastern Conference, especially 3 matches in all. Red Bulls 2 trying to stay in second place, taking on St. Louis just above the playoff cutoff line. Sebastian Elney, though, look at this rocket short side, as Red Bulls continue to be tough at home, especially at MSU Soccer Park. Second look at Elney. We just saw Dos Santos let one fly. That was right there with it. And, well, Elney's going to get the easiest one ever in his career. He could have nudged that over the line, off the set piece, off the keeper, off the crossbar. Yeah, Paul, you would take one of those, certainly,
I'd
wouldn't
take
you?
those any day. It doesn't matter which way they go in, you know.
Paul made a career of this.
I did. Anything,
Just like that.
Anybody mess up in there, I'm jumping on it.
Ottawa hosting Birmingham. Ottawa actually went up a man late. Here's a look in front off of restart, and Obasi tapped it over. Carl Haworth couldn't guide it home, so then Ottawa nearly conceded late, but if not for a fortunate bounce.
What a break he got there.
Nice combination play from Birmingham, but Ottawa gets the point, so they move 1 point ahead of Pittsburgh, at least going into tonight. Ottawa's been pretty good recently. The Hounds have been hotter, and that's part of the reason why the Hounds are in the top 10 of your USL Championship Power Rankings, which you can find every Monday, updated on USLChampionship.com. Phoenix Rising, hard to argue, with 11 consecutive victories, but yeah, Red Bulls 2 in Tampa. They've been the class of the East all season long. Teams like the Hounds and Indy and Nashville trying to get to that level.
Yeah, they really are, but it's Phoenix, Red Bulls, Tampa. That's who we're chasing, Red Bulls and Tampa, and and I think the Riverhounds are right there with them. A big win tonight will help them considerably. There's a lot of quality in that top 10 right now, and anything can happen in these standings.
3 points for the Hounds could, in fact, push them all the way to 4th, depending on results tonight. So, well, we'll keep an eye on that, obviously, as the evening progresses. So far, so good for the home side here in the shadow of the Golden Triangle. Back in a bit on ESPN Plus and CW30 in Memphis.
Now gets some time. Sam Warner, the beauty. From distance, on the way and in. Goal, Las Vegas Lights. And Taylor with a beautiful strike. Are you kidding? It will go for goal. Oh my goodness.
Gents, hey, keep moving forward here. I feel like we're close, but it's all about the process. Make sure you're doing the little things right.
It's part of the community. I think it's not a mistake that you drive anywhere in the city and you'll see the red Kickers K. I was certainly honored to play for the club and understand it's just a part of the city.
We're the longest continuously run professional soccer team in the country, which is pretty cool. We have Charleston Battery beat by one day. We played on a Friday night. In '93, they played on a Saturday. We take great pride in that.
There's a really good structure in place, and there has been a really good structure in place for a long time now, even from when I was back here as a youth player. The coaching staff, the culture, the way things are done at the Kickers is at the highest level. Everyone's committed, everyone's 100% in.
We have a really strong locker room, and everybody really wants to do well for the club, and they believe in me and believe in the club and respect the history that we have as a club. So it's been a lot of fun so far, just kind of getting this group together.
An intimate look at the Richmond Kickers, formerly league mates of the Hounds. Good to see them still getting a lot of community support in USL League One. So that's a familiar name for a lot of Hounds fans. Pittsburgh leads 2-0 at the break against the USL Championship newcomer in Memphis. And we showed you some highlights from Friday. How about some news from around the league with a focus out west? And we touched on it. Phoenix Rising, new record in league history, 11 straight wins, and they'll try to make it 12 late tonight. You can catch that on ESPN Plus. And we mentioned already the Wednesday night soccer, Las Vegas against Sacramento Republic. And a good deed done by Hartford Athletic. first-year club in this league as well. They're hosting the Puerto Rico national soccer team, first of all, later this month, but also a portion of the proceeds benefit hurricane relief. So Hartford jumping right back in it, and we saw they're getting good community support too. So fun to see a newcomer doing well and doing good as well there. Scores, I mentioned North Carolina, a team the Hounds are trying to track down. North Carolina up by 5 points on Pittsburgh for that 4th spot. Indy, though, leads, trying to pull ahead. Both of them are tied in points. Tampa Bay, no surprise. What else is new? 2-0 up against Charleston. Lou City and Charlotte, 2 teams below Pittsburgh and near the playoff cutoff line. That's a big matchup. Nashville, that's one to watch, too. Pittsburgh wins and Nashville loses, then the Hounds will be in 5th. So a chance to pick up some ground there. And guys, as we look at the standings, well, Gina, 6-1-1 mark will help you rise up, but now the Hounds are taking advantage of some of those games in hand, too, that they still have on some of these squads.
Yeah, they really are. You can see that Carolina has 2 games in hand. The Tampa Bay Red Bulls have 2 games in hand on the Riverhound. Lou City has 2. Charlotte Independence has already played 23, and with the Riverhounds are in their 20th game. So, you know, the Riverhounds can make up some ground here over the next few weeks, and with the way that they have been playing and the confidence that they're demonstrating tonight, it's going to be they're going to be in a really good spot to make up some ground.
By the way, those are live standings, so those are as if the results would hold. So Pittsburgh, with a win tonight, would finally get more wins than draws. They haven't been able to reach that mark all season long. We'll be back for highlights and stats at the start of the second half after this.
Of southwestern Pennsylvania is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new Island Green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
I should have been a cowboy.
Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019.
Red Solo Cup.
Live in concert.
I'd fill you up, made in America.
Friday, September 27th at Highmark Stadium. Toby Keith on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Drusky Entertainment and Kirchner Concerts. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
The Riverhounds look to stay hot at home as they are back at Highmark Stadium next Saturday night. What a goal! It's Science at the Stadium night presented by the Carnegie Science Center on Saturday, August 10th, when the Swope Park Rangers make their way to Pittsburgh for a 7 p.m. showdown. Gates open at 5:30, dollar beers until kickoff. Find out more at riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Okay, go ahead and stand up for me. Good. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is just...
Now, if you get home and that's a little more tender.
Can I give you a hug? I can't believe it. I was in surgery this morning. Oh my gosh.
Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment at Allegheny Health Network.
Riverhounds Soccer Club attempting to stay unbeaten at home, 5-0-5. Here at the friendly confines coming into tonight. They've got a significant down payment on this one so far through 45 minutes. Let's take a look back and see what you might have missed, or if you watched it, we can relive it too. Pittsburgh has been the aggressor throughout this match. Tim Mulqueen knew that coming in. He said as much earlier this week, but only so much as squad was able to do. James with an early cross. That was Kevin Kerr on the back end, but James just swinging balls in from that left side.
Yeah, he's had a lot of space out there. We've seen Velarde come very narrow, and if not central, to connect with the midfielders. We see Conrado Forbes just not getting enough on having a shot blocked, but there's James again. So he's seen a lot of time on the ball and within a number of crosses.
There were some weird bounces and perhaps some missed opportunities, but 2-0 feels about right with all the time the Hounds spent and all the balls that were rattling around the box. This one included. Velarde unable to finish that.
Yeah, Velarde's had 2 headers that he just could not get enough on to to direct them in. But Toby Adewale directs that one in beautifully off the corner kick.
No, that was perfect. Look at that. No chance for the goalkeeper at all. He left his defender and was wide open. So this one was fantastic, guys. It hit the crossbar, and then Mertz just taking a rocket. Yeah. I think that I got to look. Oh no, it hit the defender. Yeah, number 17 on the back of the heel.
Yeah, that was Grandison, who had an active half, and wow, that's how he gets repaid at the end.
Yeah, really.
Ouch. 15 shots again. Bears mentioning Pittsburgh on pace to set a new season high in shots, and 6 of them on target. Got some help on the deflection there. Mertz is getting credit for that goal still. There you see possession. That makes sense. And not much by way of offsides early on. Some corners, though, as well. You don't see that on the stat sheet, but 4-1 is the number in favor of Pittsburgh, too. So all the indicators are there for the Hounds. They just have to continue to stay on that pace in the second half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if there's any changes here for Memphis, if they're going to do anything different tactically. I think, as we had talked about, Pittsburgh was really having their way a bit, Paul, in the midfield, and that forced some defenders out of position, and they were able to then do very well on some counterattacks.
Oh yeah, I mean, I look at Memphis. I don't think they've done any changes at all, and going back with the same lineup. And you would have thought they'd have put somebody in there, probably an extra player in midfield or something, Gino, just to calm it down a little bit, stop the Hounds kind of getting this pressure. But obviously they need some goals too, so they can't really just sit back.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
as we get the second half going, Memphis has played so many one-goal matches. This has to be a rarity, a weird feeling for them to be down 2 at the half, and it's a different circumstance. So
Nico Brett offside there, came back from an offside position to try and hit the ball. That's what bugs me when you don't get goals. You know, all it is 2 or 3 steps. And,
Paul is the leading scorer. Don't let him bug you.
Okay.
I'm Matt Geica. That was Paul Chowder just heard alongside Gene Klein. And we're happy to have the 3 of us back together for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
As I stand right in the middle, hear it from both ears. Ball out to the Hounds. And
the worst spot in Highmark Stadium.
Oh, I completely disagree. But anyway. So Bob Lilly will look on to see his team try to lock it down better than what they did last week. They allowed 2 in the second half to Hartford. And yes, they put it away. They won by 2. It was never really in doubt. But early on, Hartford struck, and there was an attempted through ball to Brandon Allen, was broken up. So the Hounds try to go back the other way, and it would have been Brett free in the clear if that Velarde dish had gotten to its intended target. But a foul called against Memphis in the midfield.
Yeah, Velarde was fouled on that, but oh man, he had somebody wide. He had Brett over here, I think, wide open. Yeah,
it would have been a 40-yard breakaway, maybe. Dover, Jordan Dover, hanging on and playing Thomas Vunke Azil. And now Pittsburgh with the Gateway Clipper passing by on the Monongahela River. The signature sites here. They'll play it through the midfield. Tipped by Dos Santos. He's saying that he was infringed upon. Well, his shoe came off. That's part of the reason why he was upset at the referee, Thomas Snyder. Snyder's second Hounds match of the year. We saw him in the matchup against Birmingham, another USL expansion side. Late June, that was. Right at the start of this hot streak for the Hounds.
And they need DeSantis to get back and get his shoe on and get going. At least get on side.
Right.
There he is. He's back on side.
I just wonder if Memphis has the quickness in the midfield to deal with Bernardo Forbes, Robbie Mertz, Steven Dos Santos. I mean, you know, looking at Metzger, Lindsay, they're all good players, but the Pittsburgh midfield has been able to find an awful lot of space in there, and I'm sure Tim Marqueen will try to make some changes.
That's what I was thinking.
Les Paul is come a little bit more into the center, just to try to shut that down a little bit.
Put in an extra goal
to Najim. Well, and they have a lone player that is available, Marcus Epps from New York Red Bulls, and he was warming up at half. So, and he In your words, Gene is a specimen. He can get up and down the pitch.
He really can, and so I mean he could be another player that can make some sort of difference for Memphis. I think they do have to change it up here a little bit. They're down 2-0, and they need some sort of spark to get back into this match.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've got to do something, Gino. I mean, if the Hounds get another goal, it's going to be very, very difficult to get back into it. So, and you know, I'm sure Bob wants to see this, like Matt was saying as well, where, you know, close this, you know, clamp down on this. We're 2-0 up, put it away, and keep possession and make it difficult for Memphis.
That's a big collision. And
Forbes.
That's a foul.
Grabbing his cheek.
The referee got it right too.
It appears the Memphis player took the worst of it. That's Paul again involved there.
Yeah, but I thought it was his elbow on Bernardo Forbes.
I think he went down, especially Matt, because he knew he was at fault.
Yeah.
And he wants to get down there so he wouldn't get a yellow card, to be honest with you.
But I think he's going to get booked once he's treated. Yeah.
Right. The referee Snyder is lurking over him.
You know, hands above the contact above the shoulder here. Watch this.
So we got to play.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He goes with his right arm right to Bernardo Forbes' side.
Well, her first booking of the match.
Boom.
Straight in the side of his head.
Right in the side of his head. I mean, that's, you know, that's what referees are looking for, with that contact above the shoulders, and that should be a booking.
And they've got a player coming in here, Memphis.
Well, that's Epps.
There is Epps, Marcus Epps, the 24-year-old from Mississippi. And we know Adam Najim from Bethlehem Steel, also Marcus Epps from Bethlehem Steel the last 2 years.
And he is getting carded.
Card goes to Paul, and well, Paul's coming out anyway, so this probably just accelerated the plan for Tim Mulqueen. Epps in for Paul, so an attacking player for more of a defensive-minded player, as you might expect, with the team down by a deuce. Adewale and Mertz, your goal scorers for the Hounds in the first half.
Well, we'll see how, if there is any change with how they're playing, or it looks like Epps is moving to this left side here. Maybe Andy, where's Andy in the gym going to go? It looks like he's underneath Brandon Allen. So, and they put Conga on the right side. So we'll see if it stays this way, with Epps on the left, Conga on the right, moving the gem up a little bit higher with Brandon Allen, almost in a 4-4-2, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got to do something, though, Gino, and that's what they're doing. Hopefully.
We're hearing Adewale got a yellow card as well. I didn't see what he did or what happened, but
yeah,
we're told that from the scorers table, from the fourth referee. So I'm just passing that along to you, and I apologize I didn't see anything. It's more focusing on the collision at midfield.
I only saw him pull out the card against
Fans, please join the Riverhounds in wishing a happy birthday to Catherine James.
All right, so that was a miscommunication from the fourth referee to our people down there. It was just a card to Paul, not Adewale. Anyway, moving on. Dover.
Well, that's a dangerous ball.
Lifting one, not cleared yet. Here comes Grandison back to try to corral it, and he does. That was off the head of Hauser Ramsey and into a tough spot. Allen will take the throw to try to step by Toby Adewale on that outside flank. 50 minutes plus in the books. Pittsburgh up 2. Trying to make it 5 straight wins here at home and extend their run to 7-1-1 since the middle of June. They had 4 straight draws to the Hounds, and since then, it's been onward and upward in the standings. Ball into Sharpie here into the corner.
Nice deep ball.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis put Sharpie in, and they're pushing Gradison up a little bit higher, and then that allows Epps and Conga to come in a little bit more to support Brandon Allen and in the gym. So we'll see if that has any, if that creates any difficulty for the Riverhounds.
Velarde fell down, but the Hounds are going to get this throw. A deflection. I thought that might have been the case, as James wanted to play Velarde, who was called out.
Looked like he got shot.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was strange the way he went down. Just lost his foot and then went down really strange, and then he hit the
Well, no, they're going to give Memphis the throw. Pardon me. It was just a misdirection from Thomas Snyder, the head man. He pointed in the wrong direction. Still sticking to the first half.
Yeah, Tim Queen's a little bit concerned on that call. His arm stretched like, wait a minute. But,
it was close.
Nice
to
move
to be
by
last
Nico
off the
Brett.
Hounds. Brett running off a man. Oh, Velarde. Way too heavy with that touch and couldn't control it. Doubling back, Najim, and no feed his keeper Caldwell. Folks celebrating its 10th episode, U.S. legend Landon Donovan and USL San Diego co-owner Warren Smith joined Steele sometime. The podcast hosted by Kelsey Steele and Scott Stewart. Get the insight on the USL's newest club, USLchampionship.com, and where you listen to your podcast. Slug through here by Lindley, but broken up, and so Memphis recycles. Lindley taken away, intercepted by James, who leads the club in that category. Dos Santos, head up,
ball to Velarde.
Seeks out Velarde, volleys it back across, and Birch heads it away. Velarde went with the first touch play that time.
Yeah, it was a good decision that time, actually.
Dos Santos blocked from Birch.
Yeah, Birch did well there to step up on Dos Santos. We're looking for another.
And here goes Epps.
Rip, and here's Epps, yes.
Sprinting to it, Marcus Epps. His first action. It's part of Memphis 901. Epps beat one man but couldn't beat Bunky as he only got past Dover on the wing. Still up for grabs. Not out of the woods yet are the Hounds. Kunga over to Epps here,
again.
back to Sharpie.
Don't let him get a shot off.
Sharpie, deflected ball, bouncing awkwardly. This will be a corner kick.
Yeah, tough one. It was very awkward, and Adewale was going one way, and it took a spin the other way. So it goes off for a corner kick.
That ball was bouncing all over the place too, Juno. Anybody could have just got a toe on that and something, and you know, it was really hesitant and giving them a chance.
Well, we can see it. Epps is making a little bit of difference already after a couple minutes. You know, providing a little bit of spark and a little bit of danger with his ability to hold the ball. And there's a good serve.
Punched clear. Kyle Morton. Birch is taking the corners for Memphis. That's their second. Those are orange boots. Birch back toward the 6. Top of Adewale, skull into Brandon Allen in the corner. Did James save it? Flag is up. No, it's a throw. And a quick throw taken. Metzger. Lindley. Morton says, that's mine.
That's what I like to see. That's good confidence there.
Yeah, it really was, Paul. I mean, he had to come a long way for that, but it was in the air long enough that he could get under it. And so it was, as Kevin Kerr controls things here in the midfield for Pittsburgh.
An expected push for Memphis. You know it's coming down to. If the Hounds can get a third, though, that would drain the life out of the visiting team, you would imagine.
Well, John, I think the biggest thing we've got to do really is just don't make any silly mistakes and you know, commit ourselves and just keep possession as much as we can. Work.
Yeah, I like what we're doing right now. It's really spread out, you know. And
that's what they got to do.
And they're just very calm with it. We see Kevin Kirk coming underneath to find it. Robbie Mertz coming underneath to find it. You know, Wonky Zeal and Adewale are very patient with it. And then here we go with Canardo Fours with James driving up the left side.
Oh, that's
Memphis a little stretched out. Ryan James is going to get there. Velarde was his target. He didn't get a lot on it.
Yeah, he didn't get that ball really get the power on it he needed. He kind of got over the top of it and it trickled across.
Yeah. Metzger, the former Red Bull, to another former Red Bull.
Oh,
and
that's
Epps,
a good ball.
Diagonal ball on the ground, trying to find Najim, who's a step slow in reading what Epps was going to do.
Yeah,
Epps, I don't think has a chance to practice with any of his new teammates yet. So
when he hit that ball, though, at first it looked like that could be dangerous, but Memphis was slow to react, as you said, now. And you know, and again, the Riverhounds are just. I think they have to make them chase the game here, Paul. You know, just keep it really, really open and look for some spots to go at it, like we saw previously there with James, who just didn't really hit it well on that roll back to Velarde. But you know, just be. They don't need to go forward with it, and just try to open up the game, and then you know, all you need is, you know, one ball over top of the slip to Santos or Nico Brett. They'll get it a third goal.
Miss hit from Morton, too strong to keep it in play. Dover let it ride. We're here at Highmark Stadium on the south side of Pittsburgh, PA, where the Hounds not lost yet this season. They're in a great spot. They dominated the first half. For joining us late. Shots were 15-1, on frame 6-0. And they scored both their goals, did the Hounds, in that opening 45. Now it's about locking it up and securing all 3 points.
Epps has switched places now, Gino. He's switched over to the right side from the left. And
Velarde in, but Birch will pull that away from a couple of lurking Hounds.
And Conga's come over here to the left ball, so they've just switched those 2.
Yeah.
But it's still no gem, a little bit underneath Brandon Allen up front.
Yeah.
Kunga called for the foul there, wanting to get the ball back. And in his zeal, he stepped over the line. Robbie Mertz, former Michigan Wolverine and of Upper St. Clair, South Hill suburb of Pittsburgh. Puts it back into play. It's now Forbes. Velarde, the Californian, stripped by Grandison.
Yeah, he lost possession too easily there. He's got to be tougher on the ball, and I know he's probably getting a little bit tired. He's not used to playing full games, and probably be one of these guys, I'm sure, by the 60th minute or maybe even the 70th minute, get some subs in here, Bob, to get some of these guys a break.
Just as you say that, Mohamed Dabo is receiving instructions from Bob Lilly. Dabo, the holding midfielder, so I would imagine the move would be to take out an attacking-minded player for Dabo, and might be Velarde, who now takes the ball here. Pittsburgh back in possession, trying to keep it if they can. Now Kerr put it right on target, but a little too much on target, in fact.
Yep, straight down the middle, and that's usually where the keeper's standing, so he didn't get enough on that to try and hit one of these corners.
Well, Memphis backed off a bit, and Kerr has 5 already this season, 1 behind Brett for the team lead. Well, now it's Mertz. If he keeps credit for that goal, he's tied with Brett. 2 guys with local connections. Great stories for the Hounds. Brett, I mentioned, of Robert Morris University, and Mertz growing up here. Watched a few matches at Highmark Stadium. Now he is on the pitch as a player. A second sub entering the match now for Memphis. Abdi Mohammed, the Kenyan listed as a defender, on loan from NYCFC of Major League Soccer. He'll take the place of Grandison, likely on that same right wingback spot. 61st minute sub for Tim Mulqueen, and the Hounds will go to Mohamed Dabo for Velarde, as we expected. Offense for defense. Mohamed Dabo is trying to find his way back into a regular rotation spot, if not necessarily starting, but just he wants to see the field more. He was out with a hamstring injury for a couple of months.
Yeah, he really is. It's been a while for him, right?
Yeah.
It's been...
Played briefly against Tampa, didn't play last week. Didn't play against North Carolina, I don't believe. So for a man who made 24 appearances last year, it's been difficult, but he's in there now to try to add some steel to that Hounds midfield, and there he is on the ball first.
Yeah, and he really is a very solid defensive player. He's one of those guys who's sort of a natural holding midfielder. He likes to sit in front of the 2 center backs, reads things very well, distributes quickly, efficiently, and breaks up a lot of plays. So you know, they'll try to. I think Bob saw the gem coming into the up there with Brandon Allen, and maybe we'll see Dabo making sure that the gem doesn't have any space.
I think Velarde did very good, actually, considering he hasn't got much playing time, you know, and did a good job. But you could see him getting fatigued and giving some, you know, not so sharp balls. And I think Bob noticed that, and like we did, and he's got to get somebody in there that's not going to give the ball away or make a mistake because of, you know, lack of energy.
And it looks like, you know, I mean, we'll see what they do, because Dabo, as we said, is more of a defender, central holding midfielder. But we'll see if they put anybody out on that left side where Velarde was. I mean, right now it kind of looks like Robbie Mertz.
Yeah.
Did they push him out there? But we'll see how that sorts out.
Kerr's on this one.
Oh.
Kerr cutting, but overtaken by Sharpie. It squirts loose over here to Lindley. Najum into space. Allen busting it and
pushing him in the back.
Yeah, called for the foul, rightfully. It's been a tough night for Brandon Allen. Hasn't gotten the service just because his team hasn't had the ball very much. And well, it's tough for Allen. Not the type of guy who's going to help you win it back necessarily. You need to get him the ball in the spots where he does his best work. Dabo,
yeah, he's had very
up to Muhammad.
Very few balls to his feet, and most of the time he's been chasing it. So
here is Allen.
And there he has it this time.
And a few times he's had room to breathe and take a step. Awkwardly a little bit by Adewale.
Well done by Dos Santos.
Yeah, Dos Santos, Brett Dos Santos. A Cape Verde native, Dos Santos, veteran in this league,
Good
holding it up.
up.
And a well-weighted ball to Kerr, who will stretch out. He has a man. Forbes. Right through. Dover scores! Jordan Dover, it's onside.
Great combination.
Master of his domain. 3-0 Hounds.
What a great combination, like you said, Joe. Boom, boom, boom. I thought he might be close to offside, but he must have been just enough.
Yeah, perfect timing ball for him. And again, some terrific one-touch passing. Started from the back. Kevin Kerr played it in. Boom. Knocked it through to Dover. Jordan Dover continuing up that right flank and lifted it really nicely over Caldwell, the goal from Memphis.
That was a great shot.
And who else?
Great ball.
Right away.
Nice finish. How about that?
Very good finish. Lifted with the outside of his right boot. As Caldwell not too much he could do on that one. Trying to cut off as much as possible.
Clinical all the way, and the build-up was fun to watch. And Dos Santos, you mentioned in the midfield.
Oh, yeah, Dos Santos.
Doing the work to win possession. It's not going to go down in the scorebook anywhere outside of a one duel, but it starts the whole thing. It starts the whole action.
Oh, yeah. Didn't quit at all. He kept battling there and got the 2 touches around 2 players, I think it was. And then nice pass out wide to Kerr. Then here we go again.
Dos Santos is hunting. Chopped down a bit. Play continues. Another crosses. Brett was the man.
Assist to number 11, Kenardo Forbes.
3 goals for the Hounds, and none by a forward in this match.
Which I think, you know, that's been one of the standards the Riverhounds have really made all season. So tremendous distribution for the scoring.
Yeah.
And you can't focus on a Nico Brett or a Kenardo Forbes.
Dos Santos or anybody special.
It can come from anywhere.
Yeah. And that's what's really important for them as they go, you know, as we go up the league and go towards the playoffs. Just never know which one is going to come up for you when you need it.
Pretty quiet night for Jordan Dover until that moment, and he showed no rust there. He hasn't been in a spot to try to score for a long time. That's his first of the year. He's now the 11th Hound to score this season.
Well, he actually showed like he's been up there a million times this season, didn't he? I mean, he was just very composed with it, flicked it over with the outside of his boot. And, like he's been in that spot, as I said, a million times. So a terrific goal by Dover. Great ball from Kenardo Forbes.
Yeah.
And we said started it well with Dos Santos winning it. Kevin Kerr showed his composure to connect with Forbes. And a terrific combination play from the Riverhounds.
Dover wanted to loft one into the direction of Kevin Kerr and his path. It was blocked down by Sharpie. Now Kunga trying to mark Kerr. Throw comes to the Scotsman anyway.
Hands come alive again, actually.
They really have, yeah.
They were going through a little bit of a downer, and you know, obviously that goal just gives you an injection of enthusiasm. And Memphis, you can see the wind was taken out of the sails as soon as the goal was scored.
No, absolutely. You know, you got to wonder what hit him here, because the Hounds have just really come at him, and they're still flying at him with Kenardo Forbes here.
Boy, Kenny is those choppy steps to Brett. What a stop by Caldwell. Wow. Give it right back to the Hounds nearly. Mertz. But he falls down. He wanted to give Kerr an opportunity at an open net.
Wow. I mean,
he didn't know where anybody was
Memphis,
there.
You know.
Yeah, he just spun around and thought, I got to get that ball back across the middle.
You can see the Hounds are still going at him, though. I mean, still attacking. They're not sitting back. They still want some more, and I think that's great to see. Great, you know, that's
definitely that's what fans want to see.
Caldwell did very, very well on a terrific save here before.
Brett that close to his 7th. Pittsburgh has a 3-0 lead for the second straight match. And during this now 9-game run, Pittsburgh has had a 5-goal game, a 3-goal game, a 4-goal game, a 4-goal game, and now a 3-goal game at least. That's 5 times in 9 matches they've gotten at least 3.
And as we said, Matt, it's coming from everywhere. So, you know, if anybody in this league has to be concerned with what the Riverhounds can do. There's another one. There it is.
Dos Santos! Steven Dos Santos from James, and it's a 4 spot for the Hounds at Highmark.
Another great goal. James, again, we were talking about him coming up that left flank, delivered a great ball to Santos. Runs into it first time into the back of the net. Another terrific goal for the Riverhounds.
Yeah, you can tell the Hounds are tasting blood, Trino. They're just going at them and knowing that, you know, the air's gone out at Memphis and they're just going down those lines. What a great ball by James again.
Oh, terrific ball. But we're going to see what great tempo the Riverhounds are generating here with and playing the breaking, you know, again, there's Mertz to James. Delivers a ball, boom, right in there,
just around the defender's foot.
Right between the 2 center backs. First time, Caldwell's like, what is going on? Somebody has to track these guys. Yeah. But they're not, and the Hounds have been doing that, frankly, since the beginning of the match.
No, definitely, you know, I mean, they've never let up. I mean, there was a period for maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes where kind of Memphis started to get back into it. I was a little bit concerned, but now they've just put the foot on the gas again,
and you just wonder how that second goal at the end of the half, how that carried through into the second half, because we said if they go in 1-0, the Riverhounds were pressing for that second one, didn't get it. Does that give Memphis a little bit of belief to come out in the second half? But the Riverhounds got that second one, and they've been flying throughout the second half here. So
Dos Santos with his 6th. That ties Mertz and Brett for the team lead. The Riverhounds are 5-0-0 coming into the match when Dos Santos scores. It looks like they're going to make it 6-0-0. And Bob Lilly is preparing some substitutions.
Yeah, he's got it for this now. I said about the 70th, I thought he'd be a little bit sooner, but no need with them getting 2 more goals.
Yeah, and Memphis is going to bring on a familiar face to the Riverhound fans, and that's Todd Pratson.
That's right. 1-year Hound last year.
Yep.
Formerly with the Rochester Rhinos under Bob Lilly, too, a defender. So Pratzner's going to come on, try to fortify this back line, prevent any kind of embarrassment.
Yes.
Speaking of which, here comes Cordo Forbes, not making a man, putting it into the area and looking for Brett, trying to force it in
Too
fact.
unselfish there.
A little bit, yeah. I think Kenny could have shot that one.
Yeah, I thought he was going to. And then he thought, oh, Nico's around there somewhere, I think. And tried to find him, but he was behind the player.
Birch, who had his wickets open for Forbes to punch it through and run right around.
Steel Army's into this game.
I would say so. I would hope so.
Yeah, they're really loud. It's pretty good to see.
Yeah.
Just the second time this year the Hounds have reached 4 at home. Their season high of 5 was at Atlanta, 5-0. That started this whole run in the middle of June. Since then, no team has piled up more points than Pittsburgh outside of in the Eastern Conference. In the West, of course, Phoenix on that 11-match win streak, but the Hounds are concerned with the East.
Down the line.
He's sprinting on the overlaps. James just couldn't find a way to thread it through to him.
Yeah, and the players stayed with him too. They saw the red flag come up.
Robbie Mertz doesn't stop, does he?
No.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth program, the USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop their local talent and compete at the highest level across the U.S., culminating in the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Kunga chests it over Allen's head, but he'll track it. Brandon Allen, a couple of goals in 5 matches for Memphis coming into this one.
Thomas Vonke.
Great job. Just realized that Kunga had looked away, and he stepped right in and poached it.
Here they go again, and you can see they're flying. They're just tasting it. And,
Kerr to Mertz. 2 players of similar stature and skill. Forbes, well, the ball was a little soft coming to him, and he couldn't avoid the sliding tackle.
I don't think he expected it, and then realized it was going to be knocked to him. And It was too late.
Yeah, Robbie Mertz was trying to lay it out there for him really softly so he could probably come on and hit that first time. And, you know, it was well read by Memphis.
Looks like we're going to have 2 subs, as you said, as soon as they get a chance, I'm sure. The way the Hounds have been keeping the ball, though, they might be waiting another 4 or 5 minutes.
Maybe.
Let's hope it is.
Valesky is the forward checking in. I imagine he'll replace Dos Santos, who left due to an injury after 1 half last week, so no need to run him into the ground if you're Bob Lilly. That would be my move if I were managing. And then Danny Rovira, the defender, more of an outside defender by trade, the rookie pro.
Steven DeSantos has had, sorry, he got stripped there, as I was about to say, he had an outstanding match. But
we can forgive that one.
We'll forgive him on that one for sure. Yeah, no, he's had a very, very strong match and has had quite an impact on this game, really.
Oh, big time. He's been the big player for us here and created so many opportunities and been, you know, definitely a big part of the goals.
Mertz has a slight step here. Played it forward and off the boot of Cam Lindley. Well, fans, if you like what you see here tonight, you can catch the Hounds live in action again next week. 2-match homestand, a brief one, but another chance to pick up points against the team below them in the standings. Swope Park Rangers comes to Pittsburgh for the first time ever. Previously the Western Conference, now they're in the East, and the Hounds played a 2-2 draw at Swope Park earlier in the year, but that's next Saturday that the Sporting KC Development Club, Swope Park, will make a visit. 7 p.m. kick time here in Highmark City. If you can't make it, it'll be on ESPN Plus. As always, sub time for both sides.
Substitution number 4, Danny Rovira.
So Rovira is in
for number 8
for Bernardo Forbes, or pardon me, Valesky in for Bernardo Forbes technically, and Rovira in for Dos Santos.
Dos Santos.
Both subs made in the 75th minute. So the final 15 will be time for Valesky and Rovira to get their feet wet again.
Great job tonight by Dos Santos. I've got to give him player of the game for me.
And Bernardo Forbes has his usual strong game.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, how many times did he slice some balls behind back lines and connect? And again, just been so active in the midfield. He's always finding the ball, always finding spaces, and never loses it. You know, but also is able to.
That's a yellow card.
Yeah. Rough challenge over there near the touchline, and the card might be coming out. No, it doesn't appear so.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yes. For a while, I didn't think it was going to happen. Dan Metzger.
I was trying to get his attention, Matt. That's what
I suppose so.
Because when you know you're getting the card, you really don't look at the referee.
You always turn
You're just
away.
going to keep on walking and thinking he's going to forget about it.
A yellow card has been issued.
Dangerous challenge to the man that we knew from
Dan
New York Red Bulls,
Metzger.
too, for a couple of years. He's played several matches here at Highmark. In fact, Dan Metzger, 25-year-old, actually grabbed.
I'll tell you what, that's a definite card. He came through with the studs right into Robbie Mertz.
And reached up and pulled him down just for good measure. All the subs are taken care of for the Hounds. That's 3 in. Making a run, Najim. Ball checks a bit. Makes it dramatic somewhat for Kyle Morton. And now the goal is to keep Memphis off the board and get Morton another clean sheet. He has 4 on the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Pittsburgh hasn't lost when he started since way back in the first match of the year. He got the first call against Tampa Bay, the Rowdies, in the season opener in March. Rovira, first touch.
He had Forbes and Valesky there, and he missed him. He missed him, and boy, if he connects there, Robbie Mertz is in behind him. You know, when they brought up Velarde and pushed Robbie Mertz out to the left, he has really been doing some business out there.
But the Hounds move the ball around again. Rovira's cross. Valesky could have done better with that. And it'll hop over to James. Moonwalks away from pressure. Ryan James feeling it at the moment.
Yeah, he's just
the Canadian wingback James toying with Lindley on the outside. Clipped right back through by Kerr to Dover. Couldn't get around it.
Yeah, really whiffed on that one. He was trying to cut
the winning number for tonight's 50-50 is 911-312. Again, 911-312.
Fans only #1 Cochran provides you with a clearly better car buying experience. No pressure, no hassles, and a whole bunch of benefits, including a 3-day, 150-mile money-back guarantee. #1 Cochran from right here in Pittsburgh. Come on out and feel free to kick the tires. Kerr rises high off the back of Dover and to Lindley. or pardon, Sharpie, I should say. Sharpie playing the wingback spot on this near side. Birch, MLS veteran, 35 years old. Tries to go direct here. Memphis looking for anything to take away from this one as they'll prepare for next week's matchup against St. Louis.
This is Allen.
Allen, nice little move and a strong shot. Morton, probably his toughest save of the night. He hasn't had many.
No, for sure. No. But you can see what Brandon Allen can do in those situations. A little tight, creating a little space for himself, and was able to get off a pretty good left-footed shot.
Make something out of nothing there, didn't he, Janie?
For a big man, he's quick in those tight spaces. He scored here for Nashville last year. Played last season with what was then the expansion club. Keeping it alive. Sharpie, well done.
Wow. Look close there.
Wesley Sharpie, the Floridian. Wants to do it all himself. Now he'll give. Allen. Left-footed cross.
Robbie Mertz all the way back, tracking about 50 yards back to win that and win the header.
He doesn't want to lose that starting spot. He knows what Bob Lilley treasures, and that's
dangerous play there. With
full effort on all parts of the field. Foul called here against Memphis. There, you were right there, Paul.
Because I believe
I
was wondering what Brian James is doing over here, but they put Rivera out in that left back spot, it appears, and James is in the midfield here with Dabo.
Yeah.
James has the captain's armband too. He played some midfield in the U.S. Open Cup matches. He played it against Dayton Dutch Lions, in fact, exclusively. It is odd to see him centrally located right now.
Oh.
Kerr, well done.
Kerr nearly read that then and stripped that play. Read the way he was going and missed by a fraction. That would have been exciting.
I know you're not enjoying it down there in Memphis, but hello to our viewers on the CW30. The first time in a long time Memphis has gotten run out of the barn here. Dabo didn't connect on that pass. It's taken on by Abdi Mohammed. Switch of play. Wes Sharpie. We have the South Florida Bulls couldn't slice that one through.
Kevin Kerr still going strong, Gino, chasing and
it really is. I mean, I'm really impressed with the energy of he and Mertz, and you know, temperatures in the mid 80s, and you know, obviously it's cooled down a little bit here in the second half, but still they're really pushing the game a little bit. And it's a fun team to watch.
Epps, speaking of fun to watch, wow, can he ever move? Off to Kunga. Wanted to go back to Epps at the edge of the 18, broken up, but Pittsburgh will have to defend here on the restart.
Toby just getting out of danger right there and just clearing it.
Yeah, you know, we saw Epps really have an impact early on. Then, you know, Riverhounds have taken control of the game, and he has, until that play, really has been out of it a little bit. They haven't been able to find him or get him involved in the game.
A corner for Memphis.
I think it's important for the Hounds to get a clear sheet here, and that's what's important for them, for the keeper, you know. And so this got to be a great job
well done by Morton there to box it. Yeah, you know, absolutely, Paul. I mean, you know, you're in the 82nd minute. You know, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up a sloppy one. You're a goalkeeper. The mentality is you want a clean sheet.
Exactly.
And the back four's thinking the same thing. And that has to be the emphasis, right? You know, let's finish it off strong. Let's manage the game. Sure. Let's close it off.
The Hounds have done much better this week than they did last week. And they got stretched out. In Lilley's words, they allowed the game to become too open. You know, like some runs that some players made, leaving them vulnerable to the counterattack if it didn't pan out at the attacking end. And here the Hounds are now. Dabo, the native of Senegal, to Kerr. By the way, the last time the Hounds scored 5 at home, little match known as the Miracle on the
left-hand side.
Wow. That was 4 years ago.
That's been a while.
Yeah, you remember that night well. 6-5 against Harrisburg.
Oh, good rip.
Nico Brett nearly made it a 5. A high 5 with a high shot, but just outside that upper 90. Oh, Brett's feeling like, he had 4, I don't have a point in this match. So trying to correct that.
I think that's why Bob's left him in there too, you know. I think you got to... You know, he's got to be hungry when you're forward and you're used to scoring and other people are starting to score with you.
Yeah, you want one there,
You want one, you really do, especially in a game like this where you're going to get opportunities.
Might recall from that Miracle on the Mon game, the Hounds scored all 6 goals after halftime. That one too. That's still
that was a crazy
beggars
game.
belief. What a night that was. Pittsburgh trailed in that one 3-0 at the half, 5-3 entering the edge of stoppage time. This much less dramatic, but the fans are loving it tonight, and you know the Hounds are feeling like this is a correction from last week. In the second half, they've been able to just put their foot down.
Well, if you're a Pittsburgh soccer fan and you're not here, you got to get out and watch this team, because they're really playing at a high level right now. They've improved immensely from the beginning of the season. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in this league for sure. They'll definitely make a push, but they're a fun team to watch. As we said a couple times already, they can fire on all cylinders. They have quality at every position, and they have guys that can score from any position.
And everybody's got confidence too, don't you?
They really do, Paul.
It's just overboiling. It's fantastic. It is, like you say, fun to watch.
So we hope that people in Pittsburgh come out and support this really, really fine Riverhound edition.
The Hounds are close to their record of attendance per match. They set it in the first season here in 2013. The Hounds averaging a shade over 3K per match here. The record's about 3,200, I should say. So they're close. Still some home matches to go next week, and then the final Friday of August as well. We welcome in Loudoun United for the first time.
Oh, good ball from
Mertz to
Robbie.
James. Can he slide through? No.
He picked the wrong side.
Yeah, he did.
He was gonna go. He had 2 choices, and he went for the wrong one.
Dover couldn't intercept. Najim smelled something there with Allen making a run, but Adewale.
Here they go again.
Closed it down.
Nice run by.
Kerr doesn't have a point either, by the way, so he's still hunting.
Kerr's seen a lot of the ball this game. He's been very, very active, and really his ability to control the tempo. You've seen that so many times, like just right there. Okay, nothing wrong. I'm just going to bring this back a little bit. He puts his foot on it there. Hey, we're fine right here, boys. And then but he keeps working to find the space.
Get the ball again.
And get it again. And when it's on to go forward, you see Kevin really flying forward.
Shots are 21-4, 10-1 on target. As good as we've seen the Hounds perform comprehensively this season.
Yeah, Kerr's just controlling the game right now.
It really is. I mean, you see him.
He keeps popping up and getting the ball every time. He's finding space.
And we saw him waving Rivera to get up. You know, what are you doing? Push forward. You know?
Rivera did cross it, the former Vermont Catamount, but couldn't get that over the top of the Memphis back line. Todd Pratzner, the former Hound, with the initial clear, and now Jeff Caldwell, who's been under siege in this second half, rolled it out to this near side. Birch playing it deep. Rovira backtracking. He's got the whole sideline covered, apparently. Monkey Azil, kind of a dodgy pass to the middle, but Najem upset. He thought he should have intercepted it, and he thought he might have drawn a foul too, but 0 for 2 for Najem on that step up the pitch. Kerr diagonally, and Rivera. Final moments at Highmark.
And there goes Mertz again, taking a run down the line. He's just any chance he gets, he's off.
Yeah, he's pushing it.
Dover and Dos Santos the goals in the second half. Adewale and Mertz in the first half. Mertz, the narrative continues in a positive direction. 6 goals. He didn't even really get into the rotation or any kind of significant playing time until mid-May. Into the starting 11 by the start of June, Robbie Mertz.
Very frustrating for Memphis right now, because they just can't get the ball, and the only way they're going to get it is by fouling somebody probably, and that's all they can really do.
Yeah, Mesker tried to do that.
What hurts Memphis is they're back in action Tuesday, by the way, at St. Louis, before returning home next Saturday. So they have a couple of matches in the next 7 days.
Yeah,
just 2 days rest. A Tuesday match is a rare one in this league.
It really is. That's a rough stretch.
It is.
Muhammad rounding one through, and no trouble for Ryan James. And there's Nico Brett, the forward, back to take it. He teams up with Christian Voleski and Brett. The Hounds attempting to take the air out of the ball. And Kerr.
Done it very well. They're just
pinging it around are the Hounds.
This is where this is where you really see the confidence, Gino, isn't it? You just know that.
And there's one
Kerr
there.
forces Caldwell down to ground.
Can do what you really want.
No, absolutely, Paul. I mean, and it's just there's a certain comfortability out there on the field. They're just flowing right now, and they're having a good time. They're confident with the ball. Even like a couple times where Memphis is challenged, they've dipped a shoulder, they've taken a little touch at it to create some space for themselves and get out of trouble, and then they just keep the game alive. So they have to be very, very happy with this performance. And you know, if anybody else who in the league is watching this, you know, they have to see the Riverhound quality and know that they're going to be one of the key teams to look out for in come playoff time.
Yeah. Pittsburgh in search and about to get its third consecutive victory. Looking to move to 6-0-5 at home. Mertz wide to Rovira, rookie to rookie, to college-educated men over there on that sideline. And it's Morton out of James Madison University. To Vunky Azil, James, Morton.
Pass to Bob Lilly.
Yes. Thought Bob might reach up. Bob's still coaching. He's talking to Voleski. We'll add on 3 minutes for Memphis. They just as soon take it and go after 90, but they're going to play on.
Yeah, they're going to call a foul on Voleski.
And a yellow card.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Stoppage time at the end of the
Cam
game.
Lindley was
Minimum of 3
bowled over
minutes
by Christian
stoppage
Voleski.
time at the end of the game.
So Voleski gets his name on the score sheet one way or another. It's for a rough foul.
Yeah, he definitely came through late, and I thought he, you know, as Lindley was following through.
Yeah, I don't think it was real deliberate. I just think it was just a little bit late. And
but his leg was extended into it on the follow through. Yeah.
Voleski apologizes to the captain, Mark Birch. Voleski, the 26-year-old out of Nevada, a couple of goals shy of 40 for his career in this league. Played for Bob Lilly in Rochester, as did Steven Dos Santos. That was the big news, bringing both of those men in who played for his USL Cup winning side in 2015 in Western New York. And Dos Santos has gotten more run alongside Nico Brett, who established himself last year here in Pittsburgh. Voleski looking for confidence in fits and starts here later in the year, pardon me. This is match 20 out of 34. Still in the middle third of the season. Caldwell handling and booting.
Yeah, everything's going to go long right now for Memphis, I would think. And here comes the Hounds again. Kerr.
Can they get their fifth?
Oh.
A play to an open wing. Muhammad lets it ride wisely.
I think that ball's for...
That might have been the first time I think Kevin has lost possession.
It is.
It might be.
I think he was looking for Nico Brett, to be honest with you. And Nico I think he was thinking, boy, I got to really run after that one. And it's the end of the game, you know. So.
Yeah, and it's 4-0.
I think
Allen's
offside.
Has to be beaten to the ball here by Morton, but it wouldn't have mattered. Offside, flag was up. Vunky Azil looks a little upset at his teammates. He didn't want to get beat there up the middle. Thomas Vunky Azil playing a spot normally taken by Joe Greenspan. Joe, for the last 2 weeks, has been involved in exercises with the Navy Reserves, part of his commitment to the country after he went to the Naval Academy. So without Joe Greenspan, the Hounds were able to shut down Memphis 901 FC. It ends up being a no contest in the end. Just a few seconds left in this one. Dabo to Kerr. Brett still looking for something.
Kerr still checking.
And Kerr, and is that Lindley? Yes, it is Cam Lindley. Wow. Kerr getting into it a bit with Cam Lindley. Finley held on to Kerr as Kevin was chasing after the ball.
Yeah, a little push from Birch to get out of there.
Well, he's the older guy. He's got to go in there and say, hey, get away from there.
Yeah.
He's still wanting to do. Kevin's walked away. I don't know what the problem is with the referee.
Oh, he needs to probably just blow the whistle here, and he will. But no, it's not the final whistle. I thought that was it.
There's the final whistle.
It resounds. Hounds win.
Man.
Hounds win, and we have something after the whistle. My goodness. Four shoves. These players are going to be separated eventually. Anyway, 3 words for you tonight. Taking care of business. Make it 4 words as Tim Mulqueen goes in and has something to say as well. Wow, what a contentious ending to a match that was winding to what appeared to be a graceful conclusion. 4-0 Hounds.
Yeah.
They take care of Memphis and stretch their winning streak here at home to 5 matches. Now 6-0-5 at Highmark overall on the season. And they continue their rise up the standings. So we'll talk about that after players get separated and shake hands. We'll come back and look at the highlights and some final stats from Pittsburgh. Keep it here on ESPN+.
Hey! The man you're disrespecting me. Take him out. You gotta keep them separated. Hey! Don't pay no mind. We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime. Hey! Come out and play!
What do you call it when Western Pennsylvania's largest automotive retailer begins selling the region's most popular brand?
Chevroletary, which also describes our grand opening offers.
Introducing the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet, where you'll find a special 2-year lease on a sporty Trax from just $99 a month. The unequaled Equinox as low as $139 a month, plus $1,000 extra for trades at the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet.
I should have been a cowboy. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019.
Red Solo Cup.
Live in concert.
I'd fill you up, made in America.
Friday, September 27th at Highmark Stadium.
How do you like me now?
Toby Keith on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Drusky Entertainment and Kirchner Concerts. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
As commanding of a performance as we've seen from Bob Lilly's Riverhounds Soccer Club this year. 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half, and as always, a spirited team talk at the midfield stripe after the final whistle sounds. I'm Matt Geico with Paul Child and Gene Klein as Pittsburgh wins again, 3rd in a row overall and 5th in a row here on the home surface. Highlight time. Pittsburgh had 20-plus shots, barely gave Memphis a sniff, and here it is in the first half, the corner kick that broke the ice. Forbes to Toby Adewale flashing through.
Yeah, Adewale did very, very well. We had a couple missed headers right before that, and he came through and met that perfectly and flicked it onto the back post.
And here's Dos Santos right before the half.
What a shot.
Double cutback, crossbar, and then Mertz takes this failed clear and gets some help.
Yeah, a little deflection, but give Robbie Mertz credit. He's on top of it. Poor clearance actually from Memphis. Mertz takes the touch, rips it, a little bit of deflection, and he'll say thank you very much, and he'll put that in the goal-scoring column.
And that was Paul, the defender, or a defensive midfielder who couldn't clear, and then it's blasted off the body.
Nice goal here. Beautiful combination leading up to that, and just an outside bender ran over the top of the keeper, as you're going to see right here.
6th assist of the year, 2nd of the night for Forbes, and a beauty. Just so composed on the finishing end for Jordan Dover.
And this one was a nice play right to the Santos and just running in there and just redirecting it top right-hand corner.
Put that cross right on the 6. It's tough for the keeper to get out there.
That's the danger zone you wanted. I mean, and James put it right there, right on DeSanto's foot, and everybody's smiling after that one.
And he's driving home.
Some sort of a bumper car is a Formula One. I don't know. He's pretty low to the ground in that vehicle. Possession where you think it would be, even with Memphis chasing and trying to do something in the second half, 23-4. To look back at, that's got to be the biggest margin of the year, maybe of the Bob Lilly era.
Yeah, that's a pounding right there. You don't see that the stats that lopsided in this league that often. No, I mean, and even shots on target 11-1. I mean, you know, that's a great effort by the Riverhounds, but Memphis can't be happy with.
I thought
with
the possession might be even more too. To
it
be
felt
honest
like
with
it,
you.
didn't it? Yeah.
Seemed like they just were keeping possession for so long.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first ever matchup between these two sides. They'll have a rematch in Memphis coming up late next month. Pittsburgh now 4-0-0 against expansion clubs this year. So, as I said, taking care of business at the final whistle. That's been a big deal here. Pittsburgh can continue to do that against another team below it in the standings next week against Swope Park Rangers here. They'll try to make it a 6-point homestand. We'll be happy to be with you again here on ESPN Plus. For Paul and Gene, I'm Matt Geica. Good night, everybody, from Pittsburgh.
Good night.
Yeah, good night. Have a good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.